Good morning on this beautiful, beautiful August morning. It's late August and I feel the humidity starting to build. That's a good sign because it means that the winter rains are approaching. Maybe not so soon. Maybe we have another month, maybe another month and a half, but always at this time of year, the humidity starts to build up, and that's something that I really look forward to despite the heat. So I spent all summer foraging food for rabbits. And people are like, what? Why are you foraging food for rabbits? Well, I'll get into that in a little bit. Why do I have rabbits to begin with? I didn't want rabbits, not originally. It wasn't something I thought about getting. I mean, having chickens and quail is pretty obvious. You know, I can eat them. I don't eat rabbit. So for me, getting rabbits was not on my list at all. And then my community honored me with lighting the torch on the Independence Day celebrations. And during their little introduction to me, they announced that, I have a little animal corner. And I said to myself, chickens, quail? I mean, yeah, they're animals, but when somebody thinks of a little animal corner, they think fuzzy, you can hold them, cute little animals, not chickens. So I went out promptly, the next day, and I bought rabbits and some guinea pigs. Some of the guinea pigs got sick. Unfortunately, they must have had worms or something. They didn't make it. I still have one guinea pig, and one of the rabbits didn't make it, so I still have 3 rabbits. So now when kids come to the farm, they can pet the rabbits and, they enjoy the little animal corner. As time goes on, I'm realizing that it was kind of silly of me to discount rabbits just because I don't eat them. And the reason is because they make incredible compost. Incredible compost. Now, I'm not talking about the compost that's made from the Timothy hay that you buy in the store or from the alfalfa pellets that you buy in the store. I'm talking about compost made from real food that rabbits love to eat. So don't buy rabbit pellets from the pet store. Those are mostly alfalfa. And, well, rabbits do eat alfalfa, but they actually prefer bark and leaves and a whole variety of food, not just one food. So I forage every day for the rabbits, making sure that they have a variety of food. I've discovered that they don't like eating the same thing every day. They won't touch it. They'll just nibble at it in order to keep from getting an upset stomach, but they won't touch it. Like they'll wait. So I make sure to give them a variety. I give them greens, leaves, grasses, bark, all kinds of things. And every day it's something slightly different. And this means that I spend time and I worry a lot about what these rabbits are going to eat, especially if I want to go away for the weekend. And here at the end of summer, there's almost nothing left. Like nothing. So I have found that I've begun rationing the food. I'm giving the absolute minimum, and just to make sure that they have food. And the interesting thing is they haven't lost weight. They're still quite healthy. They're still moving about. So I'm rather pleased about that. So I'm going to take you now on a short little forage excursion so that you know what it is like for me every morning when I go out to feed my rabbits. The end of summer, and I really don't have options for the rabbits, not so much. So these green plants over here, I was feeding the rabbits these plants, but then they're starting to shoot up these long shoots, and these shoots have flowers on them. So I can give the rabbits the shoots, but wait a second. the bees also need to eat. So, I have to decide, rabbit food or bees. So I'm gonna let the bees win out on this one because they really don't have much food at all this season. So that's that. Now over there are some thornies. The bees also like these flowers. And the thing is, as you can tell, there aren't that many of them. And this is the only area where they're growing. So I'm going to leave them. And the rabbits don't eat those thorns anyway. Now next to it is you have capers. So earlier in the season, these flowered out. And the bees got the nectar from the capers. So I'm going to feed these to the rabbits. They're very thorny. Very, very thorny. I don't like touching them, they're so thorny. The rabbits don't seem to mind the thorns though. Now, I have to be careful not to take too much off at one time. I don't want to kill the plants. These green plants, the rabbits will also eat. They are sticky, very, very sticky. And in the early morning, the bees come out and they eat the dew nectar off of these plants. So, and the rabbits will eat some of it, but not too much at one time. This one over here I'm going to get. I pick this and I let, I pick it down, let it grow. I'm going to come here. I'm going to give them a little bit of oak. They like the bark. I'm packing this down because I'm going away for the weekend, so I have to give them 2 days worth of food, which means I have to do this bucket twice. My biggest concern is making sure not to prune off too much. You don't want to prune off too much of a tree. You have to make sure that it has enough leaf energy to provide itself with food. You don't want to take away that capability. So I only do bits at a time for the trees, and then I also just leave them alone after a trim or 2. I'll just try to find other trees. This is a vine. It's just taking over everything, and it kills everything. The rabbits will eat it. I think it's called Smelix. I don't know. It's supposedly good for diabetes. I'm going to give that to them. I was very happy to discover the rabbits eat this. Because of all the thorns, I don't want it in my compost. Don't want to accidentally breed it in my yard or in my garden. My mom taught me to never put thorny plants in the compost when you are cold composting. Because if you can have potatoes and squashes grow in your compost, you can have these other things grow as well. And that was some really good advice. So I need both hands here. My bucket's almost full, So that means I have almost 1 day of food. Wow. So you might wonder, why is it that I don't give my rabbits commercial feed? Well, that's a simple answer. Commercial feed is full of pesticides. It's full of herbicides, things I don't want in my garden. So the way the herbicides are developed is that they'll kill off the herbs. Look at all the Smellicks I can give them. Yay! Oh, look at all the Smellicks. Yay! So the herbicides are designed to go through animal systems without harming the animals. You know, they're meant to kill herbs, not animals. So the herbicide goes through the animal's gut, comes out the other end, and then we put the animal waste in our gardens as manure because we've always been taught that it's good, healthy manure. And then we wonder why our gardens aren't doing well, why our plants are dying. So I don't want that to happen. I mean, I got rabbits years ago, and I couldn't understand why everywhere I put their manure, all the plants did horribly. It was so bad it killed off the grass. And I was very confused about that. I couldn't understand it. So then I started doing some research on, rabbit droppings. And lo and behold, the rabbit droppings, were killing my plants because they were eating pellets made from plants that had been sprayed with herbicide. And the Timothy hay also has the herbicide in it. So, here it is, we're all taught, oh, good gardeners use manure. But by using that manure, after having fed our animals commercial feed, we're actually killing our gardens. And it happened to me also years prior. I got some hay, I got some horse manure from a close friend of mine. And I thought, oh, wow, the horse manure. It had been composted for, about a year. It was good. It was nice brown when I got it, like a soil brown. And I brought it home and I let it compost for another 4 or 5 months over the winter. And I put it in my vegetable garden in the springtime, and everything promptly died. Everything promptly died. And I couldn't understand it. Horse manure is supposed to be really good for your garden. Well, then I didn't do the research. I was just I thought I had done something wrong. So when I discovered about the rabbits, I realized that with the horse manure, it wasn't that I had done something wrong. It was that the horses are being fed hay that have had herbicide spread on them. So it's not hurting the horses, but it does hurt our gardens. And this is why I go out and forage for my rabbits every day. So I'm going to give them a little bit of the carob as well. And with that, my bucket poureth over. Hi! Guys ready for breakfast? Look at you. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Let me open you up. Hi. How are you? Want some food? Yeah, I'm gonna go like this. Just pour it all in. Oh, right, I stuffed it, so. You guys under there? You having a good time? Oh yeah, they're going for it. I picked them some rosemary. Oh, look at that. Hello. And I picked them some lavender. And make sure to include the heavy bark because that's really good for them. Now, hopefully, this is enough for them for 2 days. You having fun there? Yeah. And they'll get through it. Now, it's a real pain to have to go out to forage. But on the other hand, you know what? It's nice because these guys, I'm going to make it to where these don't mat down the greens that I picked, and then they'll not be able to reach them later. Put these on the periphery. So it means that I can go out and forage this material, and instead of having to put it in the compost and wait for it to compost down and have to turn it, etc., these rabbits are doing all the work for me. And they're supplying us with cuddles. Yes! They're so sweet. I love them. So, this is what makes rabbits useful on a farm. Until next time.